Hey guys, this is Joshua, Tower Firma 369. I've had a lot of requests on YouTube to make a how-to video on how to build a Potbelly stove out of a Heineken 5-liter mini keg. As you can see, has a 3-inch stove pipe on the back and a 3-inch baffle for the end. There are 3 L brackets that I use. These ones happen to be bolted into place, and then a hose clamp around the 3-inch pipe and around the brackets to form a vise to hold that. The door is very simply a hinge, galvanized steel hinge, bolted into place. Pop rivets to attach that to the hinge, the door to the hinge, and then pop rivets here for a latch, which I just put the other side over here. If you measure it correctly, this latch comes right over and fits tight. Inside, I made a hardware cloth stand so that the air can get underneath the wood. Makes for a better burn, especially with the door open. Very hot burn. So this is a 5-liter Heineken mini keg. The top is no good. It's got a valve space for it for a cooking surface. But the bottom, if you turn it over, 6 inches across steel cooking surface. So what I did is, looking at it in this fashion, I saw that you could sandwich 2 halves together if you cut along these 2 lines. Okay? This first line, you'll see this first ridge come to the very edge right before it drops off again and make your line there. Down here, the second line, you come up the same distance from here to here, from the bottom of the down part of that ridge to here, as the measurement from here to here. That gives you a nice sandwich between the 2 halves. I also, at this point, draw on my door. You can make the door as big or as small as you see fit. Some people actually have adjustable doors to where they can adjust the air intake similar to what's on a grill. Myself, I cut the door out first before I cut all the way around, and I use aviation snips to accomplish a good clean cut. The way I start my cuts is with a drill hole anywhere from a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch big, and then I just cut until I come to the line and then follow the line. Okay? Same thing up here, except you can cut anywhere, and you can drill your hole anywhere in here, and you have all this extra material. Remember that this extra steel from this midsection can be used to make the door for down here. So you take your keg, you cut it here, and take out the door. Then this is an example of 2 halves sandwiched together that were cut. See how they fit just perfect? Well, that's when you do your pop riveting. Steel pop rivets, by the way, not aluminum. It will melt. This stove will get hot enough. Steel pop rivets all the way around. Now you'll notice, if you look really close, there are these ridges. You want to line those ridges up, and the best way I found to line the ridges up is to line the seam up. Okay? This gives the thing overall structural support. This one I did not take the door out beforehand. The idea for this sandwiching effect came actually from Tinny at Mini Bull Design. He had a low smut stove that he tried about a year ago that looked promising, and I've just expounded upon it a little bit. This is what it looks like when the door is cut out, and I've got 2 marks here for the hinge, for the drill holes for that. I've already started cutting out the vent holes along the sides. There's only going to be one there because this is going to be where I cut out the stovepipe hole, one there and then back along here. can see the seam still lines up. If I could find 2-inch stovepipe galvanized steel, I'd use that, but 3-inch is the smallest that I've been able to find at my local Lowe's or Home Depot. If anyone finds 2-inch, please put it up there on YouTube and let me know where I can get it, because haven't been able to find that yet, but it would make for a better stove overall. Anyway, once you've drilled out your air holes, your air intake holes, and then your pipe hole in the back, then you drill out your 2 holes here for the hinge. You drill about a 1/2 centimeter to 3/4 of a centimeter up. You can see I have marks there. There's a mark there, there. Those are for the rivets, okay, steel pop rivets. And then once you've got that done, you've got to attach everything together, including the stovepipe and the door. One thing to be sure of is with your stovepipe hole, measure it to the size of the pipe, but cut in a good 1/2 inch into it. That way the stovepipe fits against it. Now you'll have to cut your stovepipe to where there's an arc into the pipe itself like this to fit the pot, to fit the body. Another thing is that to fit the body, the L brackets that are used are going to have to be bent outwards just a little bit on the sides. Take it outside, make sure it's in a well ventilated area, that no one needs to come within 5 feet of the thing, the stove, unless it's to put wood into it, because the first 2 or 3 burns you'll be burning off this outer paint and some of the galvanization off of the stovepipe. So you don't want to be within the fumes of that. It's not good. That's why you do it outside. Good air circulation, the best you can get. Alright, next, after you've done that, this is what it looks like after I've sprayed it with stove paint. That's for like outdoor grills, that kind of stuff. This is what it looks like after I've sprayed it with stove paint. That's for like outdoor grills, that kind of stuff. It prevents rust because this is a steel product. I even sprayed the bottom there. It keeps it looking sharp. Now the top you have to oil down and season, okay? Because that will rust over time. You don't spray the top with paint, no. But oil it down and season it the first 4 or 5 times that you use the unit, a lot like you would a cast iron skillet, and it'll give you good use. Just add oil every now and then, try to keep it rust free. To keep it rust free, you can use on occasion quad-aught or 4-0 steel wool, just to give it a nice polish again, remove any rust. But always oil right after you use the steel wool, and try to season right after too if you can. Anyway, I've attached the hinge, everything here. You can see how that attaches, how it works. It's easy enough to operate just with a stick to push it into place. There's the top seasoned, and that's the finished product, guys. I mean, it's not a hard unit to make. If you use this video plus Tinny's video on his low smut wood burning stove, I'm sure you guys out there can make one of these. They're not hard. And they're pretty light for backpacking. They're only in the area of about 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds. That 6-inch top goes perfect with the Snow Peak Titanium 3-piece set, by the way. The skillet and the 2 bowls. The skillet sits in there just perfect. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Peace.